Hey everyone, this is Jared Grossman with IBT Online. It looks like most everyone has joined the webinar, but we're going to give everyone another minute or so to catch anyone that is a little bit late logging on. All right, it looks like most everyone has joined the webinar now. Andy, are you on the line?
I am, Mr. Jared. Thanks for organizing this.
Not a problem.
Well, before we get started, Jared, I just wanted to give a tribute to you and your team, and just want to thank everybody else for taking the time to participate in this webinar. I just want to give IBT a round of applause for all their hard work and due diligence in building our website. We're very excited for our launch at the end of the month, and just really looking forward to building your state profile pages and just posting your information, so that way we have a all-inclusive, modernized 21st century website. So Jared, thank you again, and I'll turn it over to you to get started.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. I mean, we want to extend our thanks as well. It's been a great opportunity for us to work with you and your team. You guys have been super implemental in building the new website, so we're excited to launch it here soon. So I'm going to keep this webinar short and sweet, and really the purpose of this webinar is to just briefly remind everyone as to some of the core additions of the new website, and then to give everyone a crash course on how to update and maintain their state webpage. So really the two things we're going to discuss today is just real briefly the new website and the new social media platform that SIDO is on. And then the second thing we're going to discuss is going to be how to update and maintain your state webpage. Here's a brief snapshot of the team that's worked on the entire project. And again, Andy, our team here says you've been a pleasure to work with, so thank you for all the hard work you put in. Just real brief on the website. From a design perspective, two of the core additions to the website would be a clean and crisp, modernized design. The second thing would be a more international and global message. Those are really the two things that we wanted to convey from a design perspective as we developed this new website. From a functional perspective, there's really three core additions that we've added into the web presence. The first being the addition of a state trade directory, the second being an improved events section, and then the third being the addition of the LinkedIn group. The state trade directory, basically what that is a compilation of information from every state international trade agency, and really it's going to become a one-stop resource for not only trade agencies but SIDO members, and it's going to allow SIDO to better communicate amongst its members. The second core addition is the trade events section. In the past, there was an event section on the SIDO website, but that event section only allowed SIDO to communicate its events to its members. This new trade events section is going to allow and is going to provide a platform for state trade agencies to communicate information as to events that are going on within their state. The third core addition is that of a LinkedIn group. And really the driving force behind the LinkedIn group was to create a platform, a more informal platform to communicate amongst each other. And if you haven't joined the LinkedIn group yet, you can see on my screen the official name of the LinkedIn group is entitled the State International Development Organizations. So if you type that into LinkedIn, you should be able to find it. Right now it is a private group, so you will have to request to join it. But once you request it, we'll make sure that you get enrolled in the group. So now to really the meat of the webinar, your state webpage and trade events. What we've done is we've developed an online portal that will allow you to manage both your state webpage and trade events all in one There's really 9 core sections that are going to make up your state webpage, and then sort of 2 core sections that will make up your trade events page. So we'll get started on those. So everyone should have received an email from me at some point over the last week or so with their login information and the link to access the online portal. What you'll need to do, if you don't have that information in front of you right now, that's fine. I can go ahead and resend it. But for those of you that do, please type in sido.ibt.onl into your web browser, and that'll take you to the online portal. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you should see a login button, and just go ahead and simply click login. And then you'll just have to input your username and password. Right now, the site is still on a test server, so hence the complexity in the password. We will be migrating it to the official domain in a few weeks' time. And once we do that, we will build out a feature within the online portal that will allow you to manage your profile so that you'll be able to create a more memorable username and password. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and log in with everyone as well, just to walk you through the online portal as well. So once you log in, this should be the first thing that you see. What you'll do is go ahead and just click on the name of your state. In this case, Jason from Missouri did give me permission to use their webpage as an example. So really the first thing that you're going to be tasked with doing is uploading a header image. You should see an image has been uploaded for you. So we did pre-populate every state with an image to be used until they upload another image of their choosing. Do note that the ideal image size is going to be 2,500 pixels by 1,200 pixels. So as we scroll down the page, the second bit of information that we'd like to collect would be the official name of the state trade program. So not only do we want the official name, but we are going to require just a brief overview of the state trade program. That would be 3 to 4 sentences in length and roughly a maximum of 350 characters. This box right here with the overview of the state trade program is character sensitive. So after 350 characters, it will cut off. What you'll see on my screen is roughly about 330 characters. So that should give you an idea as to roughly the length that you'll have to work with within that section. Scrolling down the page, the next bit of information that we'd like to collect is information on your state's director. So that would be information such as name, the official title, phone information, email information, and then we would like to capture a headshot of the director as well. Do notice that this is going to be slightly smaller than the header image, so the ideal image size would be 600 pixels by 600 pixels. Scrolling down the page, the next bit of information that we're looking to collect is the domestic office details. So this would be the official office name, address, phone information, and fax information for your office within the state. Scrolling down the page, the next bit of information is entitled Overseas Office Details. And really what we're looking to collect here is information about overseas office locations if you have overseas offices. As you can see, there's no information within this section right here. However, in order to add information, what you would do is simply click Add Row. You'll see 2 bits of information, overseas office title and overseas office details. What we're looking to collect is simply the locations of your overseas offices. We're not looking to collect information such as addresses, just simply the location. So in this case, if you had an office in, say, Japan, what you would do is simply type in Japan. and then any details about that office, with the exception of address details. In order to add more, all you need to do is simply click Add Row, and that will allow you to add another location. Scrolling down the page, the next section is entitled Downloadable Documents, and really what we're looking to collect here would be information, downloadable flyers that you've already created. These flyers can be descriptions of your programs or services or information about your state. What we're not looking to include within this section would be standard industry reports, annual reports, or any confidential information. There should be no file size limit, so it should be able to withstand a relatively large file as well. If you do upload a larger file, it will likely take longer to download, but it should be able to support it. Again, in order to add more information, all you would have to do is simply click Add Row and then upload the file information. In the next box is the website address, so that would just be the main URL, the main web address for your state's program. And then scrolling down the page, the next information, and really the last information for your web page is collecting information for your staff. The information that we're looking to collect here would be name, role, and then phone and email details. Again, this information has been all collected in Missouri's case, but if you want to add more staff members, what you would simply do is click Add Row, and that will pre-populate another section for you to add additional staff members. In addition, if you want to remove a staff member, what you would simply do is click the minus button or remove row. It's going to ask you to confirm that, and you'll click remove, and that will remove that staff member. And then one last bit of information on this section. If you want to input a staff member in between another staff member, what you would simply do is find that break. You'll click the plus button. It's going to ask you to confirm it, and then you'll go ahead and input that staff member's information. This should all autosave. So all the information should be saving as you go. However, once you've input all the information, if you scroll to the top of the web page, in the top right-hand side, you should see an update button. Go ahead and click that, and that will ensure that that page is updated. All of the information will be live, so as soon as the update button is clicked, that'll actually populate on the website, so these changes will, in essence, be effective immediately. Now, switching gears a little bit, going over to the trade events section, you should see in the top left-hand corner of your screen a little pin and then the word events. If you go ahead and click that, and then go ahead and click all events, what you'll see right here is going to be the comprehensive list of events that you've already input into the system. So in the case of Missouri, they've already done about 5 or 6 events and inputted those into the system. In order to add a new event, all you need to do is simply click the Add New button. And then it's the exact same format as the state web page. You'll see boxes that require information. Right now, the start date, start time, end date, and end time are all required information. However, we are looking to take off the start time and end time as required information and just making those optional fields. Scrolling down the page, you'll have an option to upload an image for the event. So if it's a trade show that you're going to and you'd like to upload the image of that trade show, then you can do that there. Again, the image size, the ideal image size would be 600 pixels by 400 pixels. one of the important fields to note and to populate is this field right here entitled Event Hosted By. And this is where you'd populate the name of your state trade agency. Inputting this information here will allow people to better filter events based off of what state is hosting them. Scrolling down the page, the other information to collect that we're collecting about events would be city, country, if there's any specific directions to the event, such as if you have a certain location, if you're going to a trade show and you have a certain location within that trade show that you'd like people to be able to find your booth at, you just input that bit of information there. The event organizer is just another classification mechanism for you to use. So that would just allow you to, this field's already pre-populated, but it will allow you to select the state that you're from in the state that is sponsoring or hosting the event. Scrolling down the page, there's just additional information that can be collected on the event. It is optional, so you don't have to populate it. This information can include the event's website, the cost information, sponsoring organizations, and then a little description of the event. You can upload a flyer of the event. And then the bottom of the page will just allow you to classify the type of event, the audience that the event is geared towards, and then the information level of that event. Finally, the last bit of information to be collected, again, this would be optional information as well, would be contact information for the event. So again, once this information is inputted, it's going to be the same format as the state webpage section. You'll have to scroll to the top of the webpage, and you'll see a blue button in the top right-hand corner that says Submit for Review. When you click that, that information is actually going to be submitted to SIDO for them to approve the event. So in the case of events, you won't see the changes effective immediately. It does have to go through a review process, and then that event will be published on the website. At this point, I'd like to open it up to any questions that you may have. You should be able to use the chat functionality within the GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar, and that will allow you to input any questions that you may have, and we can get those answered for you. I have displayed my contact information, my colleagues' contact information as well. So if you have any problems or want to send any questions to us via email, feel free to do so.
Hi, Jared. This is Andy. I just want to chime in while we're waiting for a few questions. Regarding, we've had a few people ask, what is the purpose of having our trade events and our trade directory on our website? And I just want to emphasize it's one of our efforts of creating that one-stop shop for state trade offices as we look at having a one-stop shop for federal trade shows and keeping up with what's all going on. This is another platform for you guys to really compile, how your offices are structured and also what events you have that other people might be interested in participating on. So it's our ongoing goal of having that state federal kind of one-stop shop. And I just wanted to say thank you for your help in keeping your page up to date as people are curious who the trade director or what office they have in each state. This really helps us also educate Congress, the public, and all of our partners on your role and participation in the trade ecosystem as well. So just let you guys know your hard work's not going unnoticed.
Thanks, Andy. So it looks like right now it doesn't look like there are any questions. I'll just give everyone another minute or two just to type any questions that they may have. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions. What I'm gonna do now actually is just unmute people's lines. So just to make sure that we get everyone's questions answered, I want to give everyone some time to discuss those. Give me a minute or so to go down, and I will unmute you, and that will allow you to just talk with us and ask any questions that you may have. All right, so it looks like everyone's unmuted. So if anyone has any questions, then feel free to shout, and we'll get those answered for you.
Sounds like you did a great job explaining how to upload their web page. So
Perfect. So it appears as if there's no questions, but like I said, if anyone has any questions at any time, please feel free to email them over to either Andy, myself, or my colleague Samantha, and we'll be happy to get those answered for you. I am going to go ahead and shut down this webinar now, but this webinar has been recorded, so it will be sent out. The recorded version of the webinar with the slide deck will be sent out in a day or so, so you'll have access to view the webinar again.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
thanks, Jared.